this is Dr. Reza Azmi. He's the founder and director of Wild Asia. He started off working with plantations in Sabah. Better ways to manage the conservation area, riparian area, save the forest, for plantation managers to understand what diversity is, how to preserve it, and then the fears, not being able to achieve what we put here, confusion, lack of understanding, unable to implement, fears about timely certification of RSPO. I'd like to hear from anyone here. What do you understand biodiversity?
Our own term is the variety of living species, organism, and plants.
I guess it's not rocket science to say that on the left we have an ecosystem, a natural ecosystem that is incredibly rich in terms of its variety, in terms of pre-species and community dependent upon that. On the right, a typical plantation scenario where we have very few species. So these are no longer species. These are going to make you extinct. When we're talking about biodiversity, we're not simply talking about wildlife. We're not simply talking about individual species, orangutans or elephants. I mean, people could say, well, at the end of the day, if it comes down to me feeding my kids or orangutans, I'm going to choose my kids. But that's not the point. The point is that when we affect biodiversity, we are affecting our kids' livelihood. We are affecting the ability of the planet to sustain our lives, not just the lives of other animals.
But in terms of now thinking from a plantation perspective, there are a few basic principles. One is, let's try and maintain as much connectivity as possible. Let's try and think about the integrity of our aquatic system. You will be looking at habitat structures and then also trying to keep things diverse, so the habitat heterogeneity. So there's quite a few reasons behind this that goes beyond the law. So thinking about your size of your riparian buffers, thinking about where I should have them, etc., should be about understanding your streams, not about a generic formula which has been dictated by law.
Cari yang lain lagi lah, housing. Pasti ngisi, udah pasti ngisi. Slope lah, kan?
Our plantation is called Sejati Plantation.
Assalamualaikum. So this is our plantation, Kinabalu Estate.
So we are from Cepatkaya.
Okay, I just want
They call this kampung lah.
Okay. All right. So let me give you some suggestions.
It do meets my expectation. Like what I mentioned, about connectivity, about integrity of aquatic life, about landscape heterogeneity, about structural complexity. We don't know anything about that before. And then about how to communicate and manage the stakeholders.
From this workshop, I've learned more practical way in doing the management for the biodiversity, and it taught me how to think a bit more, not too rigid, but to embrace the environmental, because we are neighboring with the orangutan, the elephant, and we need to find out a solution to live together.
I think this workshop perhaps can be, it's 2 days is I think quite packed. So perhaps if you can extend to another day, perhaps go to the field, sample how does it look like on the ground. It's much better.
One thing that I think I've noticed is that people feel that at this level, there's the willingness to do. They are already ready to act on the ground and try out things. And there's still 2 areas of concern. One is, will I be able to influence my boss? Will I get the support? Can I get the commitment to make these things happen? I think this is very much the fear that was communicated from the workshop. And I think that's something that could be addressed a bit more in coming workshops, because I think maybe it's about the ability or be a bit more confident to communicate, to start putting these ideas into some kind of written plan and be able to communicate this. Maybe that's one way that we could go.